Welcome to the science class video. Fiber, a material which is in the form of thin and continuous strand is called fiber. There are two types of fiber. They are natural fiber as well as man-made fiber or synthetic fiber. Now let's see what are natural fibers as well as man-made fibers. The fibers which are obtained from plants as well as animals are called natural fibers. They include cotton, jute, silk, wool. Cotton and jute are fibers obtained from plants. Silk and wool are obtained from animals. Man-made fibers are those fibers which are obtained or produced chemically. Example: nylon, acrylic, terling, terracotta and polyester. Animal fibers. The common animal fibers include wool and silk. From which all animals we get wool? We get wool from sheep, goat, yak, camel, llama, alpaca, etc. And also we obtain silk from silkworm. Here you can see the picture of goat, sheep, yak, wool. Wool is obtained from the fleece or hair of sheep, goat, camel, yak, rabbit, llama, alpaca and other animals. So what is the peculiarity of all these animals? These animals have thick coat of hair on their bodies because the hair traps air and is a poor conductor of heat. So, what is the use of this thick hair? The thick hair keeps their body warm and protect them from harsh cold climate. To obtain wool, animals are reared. Reared means raised, and then the hair is cut and processed into wool. Fleece and wool bearing animals. We know some examples of wool bearing animals, isn't it? They are sheep, goat, camel, yak. And these animals bear two types of hair: coarse hair or thick hair and fine soft underhair. Fine soft underhair is found close to the skin in such animals. What do you mean by fleece? The fine soft underhair of animal like sheep and goat is called fleece. And what do you mean by wool bearing animals? The animals which have the fine soft hair on their body are called wool bearing animals. Animal wool. There are different varieties or breeds of sheep found in India. Sheep not only provides milk and meat but also wool. Different varieties of sheep are reared in different parts of world to obtain different varieties of wool. Sheep wool is the common wool. Some varieties of wool are Angora wool, which is obtained from Angora goats found in Jammu and Kashmir. The wool is used for making shawls. Pashmina wool is obtained from Pashmina goats. Yak, yak is found in Tibet as well as Ladakh region of India. They also provide us with wool. Llama and alpaca are different varieties of camel which is found in South America. They also provide wool. Rearing and breeding of sheep. As discussed earlier, sheep are reared in many parts of our country, including Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. Sheep usually feed on grass and leaves. They also eat a mixture of pulses, corn, jowar, and oil cakes and minerals. Oil cakes are left over after when oil is extracted from the seeds, usually castor. During winter season, sheep are kept indoors and they feed on leaves, grain, and dry fodder. Fodder is the food given to the animals. Processing fiber into wool. The fibers cannot be directly obtained from sheep. It must be processed through different steps. The processing of fiber into wool include steps such as shearing, scouring, scouting, and dyeing. Now let's see the first step, shearing. The layer of hairs present in sheep's body is called fleece. The process of removing fleece and thin layer of skin from sheep body is known as shearing. Shearing does not harm the sheep. It is usually done with the help of a tool similar which is used by the barber. Shearing is usually done in hot weather and not done in winter season as it can harm the sheep. After some days of shearing, hair starts growing on sheep's body again. And through the process of shearing, we obtain fibers. The next step is scouring. The fibers obtained after shearing may contain dirt, which includes grease and dust. It must be removed before further processing or next step. The process of washing the sheared skin along with the hair to remove dirt is called scouring. After cleaning the fibers, they are dried and sent to the factory. The third step is sorting. Cleaned fibers are sorted or arranged according to the texture, which includes the length and color. Fine hairs can be used for making clothes, and coarse hairs are used for making rugs. Small fluffy fibers are called bears, and they are used in sweaters. Dyeing. Dyeing is a process of coloring according to the need. Natural fibers are in white, brown, and black. So they are dyed with other colors, then straightened, combed, and rolled into yarn. Long fibers and shorter fibers. Longer fibers are used to make sweaters, and shorter fibers are woolen clothes. Next fiber which we obtain from an animal is silk. From which animal or insect we obtain silk? Yes, we obtain silk from silkworm. Silk moth usually lives in the mulberry trees. There are different types of silk which include tussar silk, munga silk, kosa silk. They are produced by different types of silk moth. The type of silk differentiates on the basis of luster and texture. Mulberry silk is the most common silk moth. The rearing of silkworm to obtain silk is known as sericulture. Processing of silk. Processing of silk includes following steps: rearing, reeling, dyeing, which is followed by spinning and weaving. Here you can see the picture of processing of silk. Rearing of silkworms. A female silk moth lays 100 of eggs at a time. These eggs are stored in clean cloth or paper strips. The eggs are then provided with a suitable temperature and moisture. The eggs hatch into larvae called caterpillars or silkworms. The silkworms are then kept in bamboo trees, and the silkworm starts to eat the mulberry leaves and grows in size. After the 30 to 40 days of duration, silkworm stops eating the mulberry leaves and starts to spin the cocoons. The cocoons get hardened on the exposure to air. Inside the cocoon, the silkworm develops into silk moth. Life cycle of silk moth has several stages from egg to adult moth over a period of about 6 to 8 weeks. Now let us see the various stages of their life cycle. Stage 1. The female silk moth lays tiny eggs. Stage 2. The eggs will begin to hatch about 2 weeks after being laid. A tiny caterpillar comes out when the egg hatches. These tiny caterpillars are called silkworm or larva. Stage 3. The silkworm feeds on mulberry leaves and grows bigger within 3 to 4 weeks. Stage 4. The caterpillar then secretes a fiber made of protein which hardens when exposed to air. The caterpillar weaves the fiber around itself through a figure of 8 movement of head, forming a cocoon. Stage 5. The caterpillar takes 3 to 7 days to prepare the cocoon. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar changes into pupa. Stage 6. A few weeks later, the cocoon opens and an adult moth comes out. Silk threads are obtained from the cocoon of silk. Reeling of silk. The cocoons are collected and kept in sunlight, boiled or exposed to steam. When doing so, the silk fibers get separated out from the cocoon. The process of taking the silk thread from the cocoon to obtain silk is called reeling. Reeling is usually done with the help of a machine. Dyeing. Then the silk fibers are given colors according to the need. Spinning and weaving. The silk fibers are then spun into thread and woven into different type of cloth, including saris, shirt, etc.